For me, the first reason why history books tells the evil side of martial law, because from the word history itself, it lists all the events that happens in that particular time. It could be in martial law that there are many chaotic events that happens. I will give you for example. The first is just like under the martial law, there are 70,000 were detained. There were 34,000 were tortured. There were 3,240 were killed by the military and police. The second one is there are 6 out of 10 Filipinos were poor during martial law. The third is the country debts rose to $28.86 billion. And the last one, the fourth one is there are 464 media outlets were closed after martial law was declared, especially the ABS-CBN. Now for me, the first question about the history is really unfair. About the history books is really unfair because they've just listed the bad side of the martial law, or maybe they just write some article that expresses the bad side of the martial law, or maybe they just interpret Marcos' leadership as a bad thing, or they just interpret him as a hunger and power. But I tell you a secret. The real main reason why the history book tells about the bad side of Marcos because of the NPA itself. There are the ones who were anti-government through brainwashing many people, by recruiting many people, even the teachers. We don't know. There are already an NPA because there are NPA who are teachers, there are NPA who are police, there are NPA who are military. That's why we need to be careful because everything that surround us could be an NPA. So let me go this straight. The book tells about the victorious, the people unsuccessfully tyrant President Ferdinand Marcos, am I right, through EDSA Revolution, which is taught in elementary days. The book also tells that Marcos is a cruel dictator. But during his time, we were the second richest country in Asia, the Pearl of the Orient, and Marcos built all this monumental infrastructure that still stand today, obviously. But some of their infrastructures were closed because of controversy. But I'm gonna ask you, who built this infrastructure projects that is being used till now? Is it Marcos? Yes, it is Marcos. He built all the infrastructure, all the fundamental infrastructure. And why, if the Marcos were cruel, then why we did not get better when they were gone? If that was the case, that book teaches us in elementary that Ferdinand Marcos is really cruel dictator. Then if he's really cruel dictator, the people who already successfully tear Ferdinand Marcos apart, then why we did not get better in 30 years? If we blame all the blatant corruption on the Marcoses, no, because many people, sure, they were out of the government, am I right, at the time? They made sure they were stuck there in Ilocos, while many people took over in the national government, just like Benigno, just like Cora Aquino. There are many people out there, especially the leaders out in that time. If people were so innocent, then why are we friends and allies of the people trying to tear this country apart? Again, this isn't historical revisionism. I'm just trying to express my opinions here. That's why if they tells Marcos is a cruel dictator, once again, then why did we not get better in 30 years if that were the book tells or teaches us? Why did it have to be a Duterte from Mindanao that had built something that Marcos did during his time? I'm questioning here because I grew up after the martial law. In time of Marcos, it is the golden age of business. But because of people, the victims, so-called anti-Marcos, isn't all propaganda? Isn't all over exaggeration of the events? Are the book just trying to cover up what the evil the people also did, the country tried to eradicate? Did they just also try to kill men and women in uniform? Because the book tells the people are innocent, and removing Marcos is the betterment of that country, then why we are poor until now? If that was the case, if that was that teaches us in the book, if that is true, then why we are still poor today? That's why, here comes the second question. Why people are fondness about the past? Because they realized that the truth comes out that Marcos is not corrupt. There are many vloggers out there who shares the story about what is the true history about Marcos. The books are all lies. As they found out, the many people also said that the books are all lies. They already know it. That's why as they found out the truth, they know that Marcos did the martial law for the betterment of the country. He wanted our country to be the number one of Asia. There's no wrong with that. He wanted our country to be developed. So if the plan of Marcos about the Philippine dollar continued, our country wouldn't be experience this level of poverty. And also, if the plan of the Marcos about the free education and also the free operation when it comes to medical field, and it's also the free electrical power, then we wouldn't also experience this poverty. So that's why I'm calling to those people out there who can vote this election 2022. Please vote for Bongbong Marcos for the betterment of our country. But it's up to you. It's up to you whether you will vote or who will vote. Who would you vote this upcoming election? But please, for the betterment of our country, for our youth, we really need to think the best decision.